Thanks, Amy. Today I'm going to talk about some of the e-commerce marketing strategies that you can do to come back stronger after this crisis that we're all in. So I'm Justin Till. I'm the VP of Sales of Fresh Relevance. We are a long-time partner of Communicator, and my day job is to help brands like you utilize personalization and optimization to drive better conversion rates, more sales, and a better customer experience. Now, a little bit of housekeeping before I go on. I'm aiming this presentation to be around about the 25-minute mark, depending on how long I waffle. And I will be taking questions at the end. So do save up your questions and I'll do my best to answer them once I've finished my presentation. So what will I be covering today? So firstly, we'll be covering some of the tactics that you can do to drive return on investment, enhance the user experience and build loyalty. We can talk about how you can make decisions that are going to propel your business forward. The importance of geotargeting in a world where lockdown is starting to lift, and some of the action points that you can do right now. So before I get going, just a little bit more about Fresh Relevance. So we are a real-time personalization and optimization platform. So what we do is we take browsing behavior, purchasing behavior, and also other information we get from different sources like your CDP, your CRM, from Communicator, from your review provider, and we bring that all together and use AI and machine learning to help drive personalized experiences to the end customer. Now, what do I mean by a personalized experience? Well, that could be anything from personalized product recommendations, personalized banners, countdown timers, contextual data popovers, abandoned cart, abandoned browse campaigns, weather-based content, location-based content, and all of this content can be served not only on your website, but also in your Communicator emails. Wrapped around this, we have full A/B testing, so you can test different strategies to see which strategy works best. We have control groups, so you can see how revenue is impacted by showing or not showing any personalization behavior. And this is all wrapped up in our nice reporting suite. Now, we've been doing this with many brands. I think at the moment we have over 500 customers using our platform in a range of sectors and in a range of sizes. Here's just some of the more well-known brands, but we have customers in retail, we have customers in travel, we have customers in publishing, sport, recruitment, financial services. So there's a real range of customers. As long as you can capture browsing behavior and we can identify something that could be deemed a product, we can use that to personalize any experience that you want. And we've been doing this since 2012. And so we've been doing this for a long time. And so we've also built up a lot of data about some of the things that work. Now, before I get into that, let's talk about the current challenges, of which there are a few. But before I kind of go into some of the current challenges that we're seeing right now, I want you to kind of cast your mind back to before this crisis, before we were in lockdown. Because actually personalization and home comforts and home confidence and home convenience was already at the forefront of shoppers' minds. The term Netflix and chill had become synonymous with a Friday night in, as people could take the content they want right there in their home. In other sort of travel sectors, you've got the likes of Airbnb, even Uber. That convenience, that personalised experience has always been kind of coming. The crisis has just accelerated that further, and consumers are demanding. They've got more time to browse websites. They are browsing websites more often. They're shopping more online as they can't shop in store, and therefore they are demanding that personalised experience. They are seeing it for some leading brands, and they are now expecting it. Now, for some brands, they've had some very unique challenges. One of our customers, Time Out, have had to completely rebrand during this crisis. It's a brand that was selling experiences to go out and about in London or any other city. You can't do that in a lockdown. So they've done a really nice example here where they've rebranded to Time In. The content on their website has completely changed to do things that you can do in your home or you can do from a social distance. This is a a very unique challenge, but the way they've responded and how quickly they've responded has been great to see. We've also seen the rise of this famous bar now that appears on every homepage with a quick link update in real time of what is going on with coronavirus and that business, particularly in the travel sector, is the uncertainty of when travel will be allowed again carries on. So if you're not using this tactic, I wholeheartedly recommend that you do it. It's a great way of keeping your customers connected with what is going on with your business and how your business may or may not be affected by the current crisis. So again, this is a great example from Canopy and Stars. But also we've seen brands change their whole marketing strategy. So here's a couple of examples of some emails I've received over the last couple of weeks. And we can see how brands have changed their strategy to this time. So Ryman's here know that people are going to be working from home. There's a much bigger percentage of us now working from home. So they've created a piece of content here about how to work from home, how to be productive. We've also some quite nice subtle links into some products that you may need, like a chair, an alarm clock and other various things. Maplin know that people are going to be at home more, so they're going to have a bit more spare time. They're not going to necessarily do all of their hobbies. So they have created a nice email here of things that I can do at home. And so things that pass the time. And Lakeland clearly knew that I had a lot of time on my hand because they're talking about how I can make the most of my freezer by having some handy tips in there, as well as also some nice recipes and other things that I can be doing now. I've got more time to do some cooking. And so again, wholeheartedly recommend you should be pivoting and changing your strategy and changing to what customers are going to be doing. Now, there are also probably some more common challenges in here from the consumer point of view. For many, there will be less disposable income as they are worried about their job uncertainty. Maybe they've lost their job. Maybe they're on furlough right now. They're definitely going to be shopping less in store, and they're definitely going to be browsing more. But they're also going to be very, very budget conscious. They're going to be looking for a bargain. If money is tight, they're going to want to make sure they're getting the right decision for them. From a brand perspective, you've probably seen revenues potentially be impacted. You may have seen some budget cuts. And particularly we're seeing a lot of customers are having money taken away from acquisition marketing, meaning you're having to work harder with your customer base and get the most out of it. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today, is how can you maximize the opportunities that you already have at your disposal. So let's talk about some of the tactics that you can do right now. Now, if it isn't already clear, we are quite big into personalization, but you shouldn't just take our word for it that you should be doing personalization. Let's take some independent results from independent companies to show you the importance of personalization right now and why it should be at the forefront of what you are doing. So 59% of consumers say that personalization influences their shopping decision. Over 3/4 of consumers have said they've chosen, recommended, or paid more for a brand that provides a personalized service or experience. Therefore, if you can get that customer experience right, it can actually be more important than the product or the price point. And finally, over 78% of consumers will only engage with offers if they are personalized to their individual based on previous engagements with the brand. Okay, so if you understand what that customer has looked at and then you create an offer that is relevant to what they are interacting with, then they are more likely to interact with it, and that will help you drive more sales. Where should you start? Well, let's talk about some of the channels that you have available to you. So email is arguably the biggest channel there is right now. It is definitely one of the best return on investment channels, better than PPC, social. It drives a very, very good return on investment. You've got an engaged audience where you have the personal information that you can provide visually appealing content that can be completely personalized to that individual. So here's a couple of great examples of some personalization within email. Timeout, again, this is before the COVID experience. but we're showing personalized experiences that were local to that individual, and they've got some nice use of social proof where you can see how popular these items are, again reassuring customers. We've got Sole Trader here where they've got a countdown timer. It's counting down on a sale on boots. That's kind of targeted based on the fact we've been looking at boots. And then VioVet, this is a horse worming email, very exciting, I know, but for the consumers, they know that have a horse because they've interacted with horse products, they've bought horse products. Horse worming is a very big thing, and lots of articles in here, but also some products that are related to horse. If you've not got a horse, you won't be getting anything about horse worming. You'll get something completely different around about cats, dogs, or whatever other pet that you've got. But email's not only the only channel. The website is now the portal for many of your customers. With shops closed as I speak right now, the website is the #1 way they can interact with you as a brand. And so your website is the best and often the first place someone will go to, and therefore creating a personalized experience here is again going to make the biggest difference for your business right now. And again, later on I'll talk about some of the things you can do. So let's talk about some of the things you can do. Well, first thing, let's recover lost sales. As we all know, marketing and marketing stats show that your e-commerce website, your website is going to be a leaky bucket. Not everyone that comes to your website is going to do the end thing that you want them to do. I think on average, it's 2-3% of people will go on to make a purchase. Now, the first thing you can do is cart recovery. It seems simple, but there are lots of brands out there still not doing this. Now, there are lots of distractions in the world, and for any of you that are working from home with kids, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about right now. You know, you may have every intention to kind of go onto a site, buy a product, but for whatever reason, you might not complete that purchase. Maybe you didn't have enough information, maybe the kids have started screaming, maybe something has got in the way. In fact, from our data, it shows that 57% of customers abandon a cart. That's more than half the people abandon the cart. So you can put a cart recovery program in that sends an email within an hour to the consumer, letting them know their cart is still there. Now, the reason why I say within an hour is lots of data shows that if you wait for over an hour, the cart becomes cold. They've possibly gone to source that product from elsewhere. They've shifted priorities. They're no longer on their computer. They're no longer browsing their phone for products. So to do it within a timely manner is really, really important. This is one of our examples, one of our clients, FFX. They are a DIY hardware store. They have different versions of their cart abandonment program. But what they do here is they obviously show the product that you had in your cart, make it easy for you to go on and complete the purchase. They also personalize the banner at the top based on the brand that you were shopping. They can see there is lots of brand affinity, and they want to make it easy for you to go back to the brand. People tend to buy all their tools in the same brand. They've also got some best-selling batteries in here, which again, just some products that consumer might want to go buy. Might be some alternative products. Now, why is cart recovery important? Well, on average, we see a 7% sales uplift from using cart recovery. So to put that into context, for every £1 million in online revenue, our customers are making an extra £73,000 a year from cart abandonment. This is a real simple way to boost your revenue. But people putting stuff in the cart is still only part of the story. So looking at this typical funnel, imagine if we had 100 people visit our website. Okay, we know about 12% of people, okay, will put a product in the cart. Okay, so 12 out of 100 people will put the product in the cart. There's an even bigger pool of people that will actually go onto your website, will browse, will look at products, will do some window shopping. On average is about 39-40%. So that's a much bigger audience who have shown some form of interest, but maybe not quite enough to go to that decision. So the next layer up is to look at browse recovery. So this is where we can send an automated email after we've seen someone interact with the website in a way that we want them to, but they've looked at our product. We can send them an email, and this email will be a little bit less salesy, will be a little bit more helpful, because maybe that consumer didn't find the right product, maybe they didn't go through the product range extensively, but they just couldn't quite see what they want to do. So this is an example from one of our clients, Glasses Direct. So they start the email, first off, very simple, but it's a nice simple personalization to the person's name. They've contained the product, which is a pair of glasses with a link straight to it. What we have found is being very, very direct with your language. Shop now, readers help the click-through rates in this type of email and directing people to do the next action. So you can see the glasses, they can go back, they can go and maybe complete that purchase on the glasses, but maybe actually the glasses weren't the right one. Maybe they they looked at it, but they didn't kind of go through. So what they've actually done here is they've actually helped provide a couple more other similar types of glasses that may be of interest at similar price points in here. So again, just showing you a bit of a range. Another call to action, making it easy to go straight into the glasses page. So you can go browse the category and browse the full selection of glasses. Some other nice tactics we've got in here is there's an integration with a review provider, which is Trustpilot, where we can start seeing the star ratings of these glasses, helping reassure that these are popular products, these have got good approval ratings, these will be a good fit for you. Okay, so this is a nice tactic. Now again, from our customer base, on average, we see a 5% uplift in sales by just using browse recovery. So with the two tactics combined, that's already a 12% uplift on your revenue by just putting in two simple automated email campaigns. Now, browse abandonment works by identifying more of the users on your website in there. And we have a couple of tactics we can do. Some of the tactics we're going to talk about a little bit later, like popovers, but browsing across devices. But one of the crucial ones that we have is a very good integration with Communicator. And what that allows us to do is all of the traffic that Communicator's emails drive to your website, we are able to identify who these individuals are. So everyone who clicks through, we then instantly know who they are, and we can instantly track and watch and collect information about that person's browsing behavior. So if they click and go straight to a product, we know what product they've gone on. If they haven't purchased, we can trigger these emails out. And so by linking these channels together, we get a much higher identification rate of customers. In fact, on average, it's about 40%, 45% of all sessions, we will know who the individual is. And so this is a real nice way of kind of capturing lost revenue and fixing some of that leaky bucket that you may have. Now, the next tactic we can talk about is growing your email list. So one of the things we are seeing is there is a lot of traffic coming to websites. More traffic comes to the website than ever before as people look for more information, as they're being forced to shop online rather than go into store. So there's lots of people increasing traffic. And so you've got to maximize your opportunities. There will also be, that also gives an increase in bounce rates as people come to the website, maybe don't find what they look for, don't find it helpful, and kind of bounce off. And again, I'll talk about some tactics in a minute, how we can personalize without really knowing anything about the customer. So data popovers are a great way of capturing email addresses of people that have been browsing your site. Now, I'm not talking about doing blanket popovers where everyone gets the same popover in there, because that doesn't always work, and that can be actually more frustrating and more damaging than a good popover. So it's about how to create an engaging popover that is going to engage the customer and help drive the right behavior for you. So there's a couple of things we look at to make sure the right popover strategy is in place. The first is the timing. Okay, when does it pop up? Does it pop up straight away? That can be quite intimidating. Where does it pop up? Is it going to pop up right in the middle of the screen and interrupt what the customer's doing? Because no one likes being interrupted. So actually making it a bit more subtle to the side so it doesn't block what the customer is doing. And maybe it's not so immediate, so it's not so in your face straight away. They have to meet certain criteria. Is quite important. Maybe it pops up when someone's looking to leave the website. So when someone's browsed, then at that point you pop over. So someone's about to leave, they've kind of finished, and then you ask them for their email address. The context of it is really important. Like, why is the popover? So for some, it will be obviously data capture. Maybe there's an offer, maybe there's a discount code that is going to be relevant. What's that driving behavior? For some, maybe it's help put their email address in so they can get a reminder of what they were looking at in an email, which is a really nice way for customers who've maybe been browsing some products, and you want to capture their email address, say, hey, look, do you want to send, look, we can send you an email with all the products you just recently browsed to make it easy for you to come back and complete that purchase later once you've had a chance to think about it. So again, that's really important. And then the content. So is it related to what I've been doing? So this is where you can look at the behavior, the purchasing behavior, and change the content of that. And most importantly, test. We're all marketers, we're all told we have to keep testing and testing which strategies, which we keep tweaking, see which things work for you. So let's talk about a couple of examples here. So Feel Good Contacts has done a really good job here. So as you can see on the left-hand side, they have a little popover asking you to sign up for the emails, and you get 10% off your first order. So there's a nice bit of context. There's a nice reason for me to do it, but also it's not in the way of what I'm browsing. I can ignore it if I want to ignore it, but I can fill it in so it's not interrupting in there. Now, actually, this is just one example of what they've done. They've actually got different popovers based on where you are in the customer cycle and different attributes. So for this is for brand new customers they've never seen. If they have, or if they already know who you are, they're not going to show you this popover because one, that's going to eat into profit margins. Someone will create a new fake email address, or new email address, sign up again, get the 10% again, and that's not what they want to try and do. So once we know who the customer is, once we know they've made a purchase with us, this popover actually changes and it becomes more information led. Hey, did you know you can download our app, for example? We've also got for students, the popover changes. So if we know if they've come from Student Beans, from a traffic source like Student Beans, we're changing the content so it's much more about students and maybe a student specific discount or offer. So again, nice change. Now, in terms of results, this popover, which is again not in your face, helped Feel Good Contacts get a 300% increase in email signups. So they actually increased the number of signups by 3 times. Okay, so it's a great way of capturing all that browsing behavior, all the people that are now on your website, and just finding out a little bit more about them. But with the right offer, the right message, the right time, and the right place, you can get some really good results. Another good example is from Pure Collection here. This is more of an exit intent. And this is where we can actually use things like product recommendations within these popovers to help drive the sale, to help to claim the sale. So here, actually, the customer's looked at a certain product. This, I think, is a blouse behind here. They're about to exit, still thinking it's over. We can return, and actually we provided some alternative products in here. So maybe help them discover, actually, maybe this is the product that you're looking for. So making it kind of easy for the customer to make that decision. And again, for this example, they already know the customer, so they're not trying to capture an email address, but you can combine that if you wanted to. These are some great, nice ways of using popovers to help keep customers engaged, keep bounce rates low, and also grow your lists. But also protect your profit margins. That's also really important right now. And so this is where things like product recommendations can be really valuable. So by product recommendations, I'm not just talking about out of the box, your best sellers, your new in, which are great. I'm talking about using AI, machine learning, to help drive proper recommendations of the products that someone might do. And there's various different strategies that you can do in various different places. So a couple of examples we can talk about. So first off, we can do things like if someone's browsing a certain product, let's say it's a jacket, we might want to recommend them other jackets that are similar, so that are similar in style, similar in price point, but maybe we have better margins on there. So again, we can use that to help drive them to a product that is better for ourselves. We could look at trying to recommend them products that are in stock in their size. So one of the most frustrating things you can probably appreciate is you find the product that you like, but it's out of stock or it's not available in your size. Again, we can make it easier for a customer to find a product that is in their size. Maybe we've got loads of excess stock. We're about to go into sale, but we've got loads of excess stock of a certain product. Again, we can try and push that product recommendation to individuals. So again, we can treat this, and using AI machine learning with some human interaction, we can really boost what products people buy and push them to the products that we want the consumer to buy. Now, again, looking at our customer base, you can see a 10% expected sales uplift from using product recommendations. And these are not only just in your website, but also in your email. And they can be in real time as well. So when someone gets the email from Communicator and from yourselves, you may show X products at that time. But let's say the consumer's then gone on to look at the website in between getting the email and looks at a completely different category. We can change the product recommendations in real time. So when they actually get to the email, we've changed it and gone, actually, that wasn't necessarily relevant, but we've changed it to these items that are relevant. That's in real time. Maybe the product's gone out of stock on the website, so rather than recommend them a product that is out of stock in an email and frustrating the customer, we can see that it's gone out of stock. We can take it out of the email campaign and put a new product in. These are some great ways to help make that much more relevant experience. If we think about ourselves as consumers, we don't want to be recommended products that are irrelevant to us, and we certainly don't want to be showing products that perhaps we've just recently bought, because again, that's just not going to make us feel special. So there's a couple of some very simple tactics that you can do right now. So let's talk about some of the decisions that you can make to propel your business forward. So it's to look at some of the behavioural data and not just look at what the behavioural data was before the crisis, look at it now, because that data has changed. Shopping behaviour is changing. This crisis has changed even the way we shop for food. I think I've seen some studies where previously people were doing their food shop in smaller food shops, but now the data is showing that people are going only once a week and doing a much bigger food shop in one go. And that's going to be happening online as well. People are going to be buying certain products more, some products less. They're going to be some customers who were previously very, very big loyalists may have had changes in their experiences and have changed the way they browse with you. So some of the data you should be looking at, you should be looking at some of the browsing data. What are people browsing? What are people looking at? What products are they doing? What products are people abandoning? What content? So not only just look at the products, but what kind of content or helpful content are people consuming? What blog articles, feature pieces are they also reading? What things are they searching for on your website? How frequent are they visiting? But also look at what are they buying. And you should be looking at this on a regular basis, okay? And rethink this. Don't just think this is what you had before the crisis. Have a rethink and keep looking at it and keep looking at it on a regular basis, because the world is constantly evolving. And some of this may help you drive some new types of campaigns that you haven't really thought about before. So here's a couple of different examples we have in here. So back in stock. So one of the things we are seeing is a lot of products are going out of stock a lot quicker as demand has been high. And so as a consumer, you might be looking for a product, but unfortunately it is out of stock. So a back in stock email is a great way of helping engage with the brand, helping be helpful and say, hey, look, this product that I know you previously looked at is now back in stock. Come buy it right now. It's a great automated reminder, helpful to the consumer. They haven't got to keep checking each day to see if it's in stock. You will let them know, hey, it's back in stock. Come buy the email. Another one is price shock. As I said, consumers are looking for a bargain. We are going to have more excess stock than before, as some stock hasn't moved. So one of the things we can do is, again, send them an email. If there's a product they viewed recently, but it's then gone into sale, or the price has dropped, let's let them know. You know, that might be enough to convert that customer. So this is a great example from Wex, where this camera that I was looking at a few months ago, that I didn't go on to buy, has now actually gone down in price. And actually, this is a great example of how actually bringing that brand back to the forefront for me. And so price is really quite an important thing right now. And so a new piece of functionality that we've just launched is price affinity. And I mentioned earlier, how can we improve bounce rates for people that we don't know anything about? So price affinity is an AI algorithm that we have built that allows us to look at where the customers come from, so what traffic source, so if they come from PPC, social, email, sort of natural search, what device are they on, what time of day have they come on, and where are they based. And what we can then do is take all of that information. We can then look at what other similar customers within your customer base have bought who have very similar characteristics, and then display the likely products in the likely price range they're most likely to buy at. So we could see that maybe this person is a lower end shopper, and we should then put at the forefront of our website some cheaper based products. Or this person looks like they are going to be someone who's very similar to our high worth customer base. So we're going to instantly direct them to the products that are a little bit more expensive. And so this is a great way of doing a cold start personalization approach without having ever seen that customer before. And that's a great way that you can use to help boost, improve your bounce rates and get more people engaging with your site. And so again, this is a nice way of just changing the products so they're all fitting in a similar price range, helping people go in, discover the products. But then as we start seeing what they are clicking on and what they then do go on browse, we're constantly learning, we're constantly changing that, and therefore you've constantly got an ever-evolving website that is personalized to that experience. So geotargeting feels a little bit weird to talk about sort of using offline sales in this time when we're in a lockdown, but in 5 days' time, as we know, retail shops have the ability to open up. And although it won't be an instant transition as people kind of get more confidence in shopping back in store, geotargeting is still something that can be very, very relevant. As we kind of think about ourselves, our shopping patterns are going to change. Our wants and needs to go into a store are going to be different. We're going to want to make sure that if we are going to go and do shopping in store, that the product is available. The product is there that I can test, that I can try it. I don't want it to be a wasted journey. So the rise of click and collect, I'm sure many brands will see click and collect sales and kind of increase, but using the person's location to show them which stores have a product in stock. This is actually an example from Paver Shoes, one of our customers, where actually when you're looking at a product, we can show, we can actually look at stock level at a store level and actually show them, hey, here's the stores nearest to you and here's the stores that have this product in stock. So therefore you know that if you do want to go and try this pair of shoes on, which is obviously a very personal purchase, trying a pair of shoes on, you can go to this store and you can see it, you can try it, you don't have to make that purchase beforehand and do the returns, you can kind of go back. But also with stores opening up, they are going to be opening up in a different way. Shopping hours may change, they may be shortened. For example, there may be kind of queues, and this is where you can serve real-time content in regards to, hey, here's the real-time opening of our stores. Maybe not all stores will be open, so again, highlighting which stores are there that are open right now, but also linking that into stock level, but also maybe perhaps business levels, as again, we could take data in from that source. So do think about geotargeting, because even though it may seem a little bit off, if you have got stores, this is a great way that you can use the website to help the stores recover as well, and help make a consumer feel more comfortable that that store is going to be open and have the right products for them. So action points. So I've talked a bit about some of the tactics. Let's talk about kind of the action points. This is how I would do it. First off is start now with collecting and analysing your data. Do not waste any time. The world is changing too much for you to just sit and idly let the world change. So first off is, if you're not collecting it, start collecting it. If you are collecting, or if you have been collecting in the past, make sure you're collecting what is happening right now and analyse what trends are you seizing. Based on this data, start personalising the experience for the customer. Okay, and then thirdly, keep testing. Be flexible, be innovative. Not everything's going to work first time around. Keep tweaking, keep changing until you find the right thing for your brand. If you want to know any more information, we do have an ebook on our website, which is under our resources tab, which kind of covers this topic in a little bit more detail about how you can make the most of this tough situation. But lastly, thank you for listening. Here's my contact details if you do have any questions, or do reach out to your account manager or contact at Communicator, who will be able to kind of walk you through any of the things I've talked a bit about. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to take any.